Okay, what if I told you that your to-do list, the very system you use to get organized, is actually the exact thing that's destroying your motivation? It sounds crazy, right? But it's a super common problem, one we rarely even recognize. So let's dive into this. I want you to really think about this for a second. That list you write every morning, the one that's just brimming with ambition, does it actually energize you? Or by the end of the day, does it just feel like a list of all the things you failed to do?
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. A client of mine said this exact thing not too long ago, and it just perfectly captures that frustrating feeling so many of us have. You start the day with a plan to win, but the plan itself ends up making you feel like you're constantly falling behind. So what is going on here?
Well, the answer, and more importantly, the solution, lies in this really powerful psychological concept that's backed by a ton of research. It's called the progress principle, and I promise you, it's going to completely change the way you think about getting things done.
And when I say a ton of research, I'm not kidding. This isn't some pop psychology fad. We're talking about a massive study by Harvard researcher Teresa Amabile. Her team analyzed, get this, 12,000 daily work diaries. That is just a staggering amount of data about what actually makes people tick day in and day out.
So what were they looking for in all those thousands of diary entries? They wanted to get to the bottom of this one core question. What is it that makes work feel meaningful? What actually gets people energized and engaged?
And the answer, across all of that data, was shockingly simple and incredibly consistent. It wasn't the big, flashy wins. It wasn't getting praised by the boss or landing a huge bonus. The single most powerful motivator, day in and day out, was simply the feeling of making progress.
And that brings us to the formal definition here. The progress principle says that visible progress towards something you care about is the ultimate fuel for motivation. Little, tiny, visible wins are more powerful than pretty much anything else. And this is exactly where our traditional to-do lists go so wrong.
So this leads us to the core mistake, the big aha moment that explains why our plans so often backfire. It all boils down to a fundamental confusion between two very different things: planning versus predicting. Here it is, plain and simple. We think we're planning, but what we're actually doing is trying to predict the future. We write down a list of outcomes, of results we want to happen, and then we judge ourselves based on whether or not reality decided to cooperate with our script.
And this just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have predicting outcomes. Those are results influenced by a million factors you can't control. On the other side, you have planning actions, the specific things you do, the effort you put in that are 100% within your control. Now, which one do you think builds motivation and which one just crushes it?
I absolutely love this metaphor because it makes the distinction so incredibly clear. Focusing on outcomes is like trying to measure the harvest. You can't control the weather, you can't control if a freak hailstorm comes through, but you can control the planting. You can control the daily work of putting the seeds in the ground. Our motivation should come from the planting, not the harvest.
So how do we fix this? We have to completely shift our approach. We need to build a system that's all about focusing on the work itself. A system for what I call rewarding the reps.
You see, the real goal of planning isn't to guarantee a result. It's to make your effort, your invisible progress, visible. It's to capture what you're learning along the way, to actually see the foundation that you're building. It's about rewarding yourself for putting in the reps, because that's the only part you truly control.
And this shows you exactly how practical this shift is. So don't write down the outcome. Get a new client. You can't control that. Instead, you plan the action. Email 5 prospects. You can totally do that. Don't put finish the launch on your list. That's huge. Plan the specific, controllable action. Write the sales page copy.
So here's your new playbook, a simple 3-step process. First, you need to know your desired outcome, know your goal. Step 2, you list out all the controllable actions that will get you there. And then step 3, this is the magic part, your daily plan should only have those actions on it. Your to-do list finally becomes a true to-do list, not a to-get list.
And this creates such a huge mental shift. Now, if you plan to email 5 prospects and you don't do it, it's not a moral failure. It doesn't mean you're lazy or worthless. It's just data. It means there's a problem with your systems, maybe your time management, your energy, your process. It's a puzzle you get to solve, not a reason to feel bad about yourself.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final, really clarifying thought. It's a simple little lens that you can use to look at your own planning, starting, like right now.
So I'll just leave you with this question.
Go take a look at your planner right now. Is it a list of things you can do, the actions, the reps, the planting, or is it a wish list of things you want to get, the outcomes, the results, the harvest? The answer to that one question is everything, and changing it might just be the key to unlocking your motivation for good.